Coming up on ATV News, a verdict was reached on the arrest of Jim McCabe.
Only 116 Syrian immigrants have been given asylum in the EU.
And the Supreme Court is hearing a new case about Obamacare.
ATV News starts now. "35 E. coli cases in Washington and Oregon have recently come up. The cases have been linked with the Mexican-style chain restaurant Chipotle. The company has temporarily closed 43 restaurants in the two states. Chipotle will be deep cleaning and sanitizing the restaurants and will be testing these locations. E. coli is a bacteria that is found in human and animal intestines and is imperative for healthy digestion. No one has died in the reported cases of infection, but 10 have been hospitalized.
With help from Carlos Mark Vera, the AU Student Worker Alliance, and the Exploited Wonk campaign, former AU employee Jim McCabe has had charges of unlawful entry dropped against him after he was arrested several weeks ago for passing out flyers about workers' rights in TDR. According to Mr. Vera's Facebook, the pressure on the university from everyone, in addition to the support for McCabe, helped the situation play out the way it did. For the latest in entertainment, we go to Deepak Bhagat.
Thanks, Maverick. This week in entertainment news was a busy one. Kris Jenner celebrated her 60th birthday in fashion and money. She had a $2 million Great Gatsby-themed party, complete with flappers, period cars, fireworks, and of course the classic birthday song performed by Kanye. I think it's safe to say Kris had a good day. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani's relationship has started to take off. Things are getting more serious between the two, but Gwen is still legally married. Although in the final process of her divorce with Gavin Rossdale, the judge still has not signed the paper making her still legally married. In movie news, a terminally ill Star Wars fan was granted his wish to see the latest film in the series, The Force Awakens. 31-year-old Daniel Fleetwood's dying from cancer that has spread to 90% of his lungs and is not expected to live longer than a month or two. On Thursday, he was able to watch the early version of the film that isn't due in theaters until mid-December. May the Force be with Daniel. That's all for entertainment news this week. I'm Deepak Bhagat. Back to you, Nikita.
Thanks, Deepak. In world politics, the Chinese President Xi Jinping and Taiwanese President Ma Ying-jeou will be meeting in Singapore today for the first time since the end of the Chinese Civil War in 1949. The two are not expecting to sign any sort of agreement. However, the main topic at the meeting will be forming some kind of plan towards peace between the two states. The separation of the two nations began at the end of the communist victory in the Civil War. However, China has said that it considers Taiwan a breakaway province and has warned that a formal declaration of independence can lead to a military intervention.
New Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau appointed his cabinet this week, and in a groundbreaking move, he has appointed a gender-balanced cabinet with 50% women and 50% men. When questioned about the move and why he did it, Trudeau is quoted as saying, "Because it's 2015.
Last Friday, Russian Flight 9268 crashed in Egypt. Russian President Vladimir Putin has agreed to suspend Russian air traffic with Egypt until details on the flight are determined. Putin has accepted the recommendations of the National Anti-Terrorist Committee to suspend flights with Egypt. The president has also instructed to provide assistance to Russian citizens to return from Egypt, said the Kremlin in a statement. Until now, Russia has said it was not a bomb that took down the flight because the terrorist bombing of the plane could symbolize retaliation against Russia's decision to back the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad. Now for the latest in sports, we go to Liza Villanueva.
Thanks, Nikita. I'm Liza Villanueva, here with your ATV News Sports Report. Junior Brendan Johnson has been chosen to be a part of the men's cross-country academic All-Patriot League team and also placed 6th at last week's Patriot League Championships. This was no surprise as Johnson has been AU's top runner for the majority of the season's meets. On Friday, AU Volleyball defeated Lehigh with an exciting straight-set win. This brought the team to 23-6 on the season and 14-0 in the league. And in field hockey, the AU field hockey team triumphed in the second semifinal of the 2015 Patriot League Championships. The ladies brought home a win against Lafayette with a score of 4-2. Now, the Eagles' next quest is for their 10th league title in 15 seasons. This has been your ATV News Sports Update with Liza Villanueva, and back to you, Maverick.
Thanks, Liza. President Obama made good on his promise this week to reject the Keystone XL pipeline, much to the chagrin of the Republican caucus. He stated that the construction of the pipeline isn't in the best interest of the United States. citing the environmental impact the pipeline would have as the chief reason for refusal. And now to tell us what's happening in finance, we go to Adina Marks.
Thanks, Maverick. I'm Adina Marks, and here's what's happening in the world of finance. What a great way to start the month of November. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 247 points for the week, and the Dow up around 47 points on Friday. The S&P 500 was down around 1 point on Friday. However, the S&P still had a good week. The S&P was up around 20 points for the first week of November. The Nasdaq had a good week as well. The Nasdaq was up around 20 points on Friday and up around 93 points for the week. Making headlines this week was Chipotle. News broke that there have been around 39 cases of E. coli linked to the company's food in the Northwest region, such as Washington State and Oregon. The company has temporarily closed around 43 stores, even though a total of 8 restaurants have been confirmed. Steve Ellis, CEO and chairman of Chipotle, came out with a statement on Tuesday saying, "The safety of our customers and integrity of our food supply has always been our highest priority." Chipotle's stock has declined 5% this week due to the ongoing outbreak. That's all for finance. I'm Adina Marks, bringing you your weekly financial update. Back to you, Maverick.
Thanks, Adina. From finance, we go to politics with Chris Schneider.
Thanks, Maverick. I'm Chris Schneider with ATV Politics. President Obama announced Friday that the Keystone XL pipeline, a proposed oil line between Canada and the southern United States, would not be approved by the State Department. This comes after months and years of controversy, much of it coming out of the Republican-led Congress on how to address the application for the pipeline by company TransCanada. President Obama stated that he believes there are far better opportunities for job creation in the American energy sector through investment in clean energy. The announcement by the White House also brought about responses from presidential campaigns on both sides, with Senator Bernie Sanders, Democrat of Vermont, saying in part, quote, "It is insane for anyone to be supporting the excavation and transportation of some of the dirtiest fuel on earth," end quote. Meanwhile, on the Republican side, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida issued a statement which read, quote, "When I'm president, Keystone will be approved and President Obama's backward energy policies will come to an end," end quote. Secretary of State John Kerry issued the official State Department opinion rejecting the project following the news conference. In other news, Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson is facing new questions regarding his autobiography. In it, Carson appears to claim that he was offered a full scholarship to West Point Military Academy. Politico reported on Friday that the institution has no record of Carson even applying for admission. In addition, there is no cost for any person to attend West Point upon acceptance. Politico reports that Carson reiterated his West Point story as recently as last month in an interview with CBS News. On Fox News Friday evening, Carson refuted Politico's reporting as fabricated, stating that he never claimed to apply to West Point. Politico then slightly edited its online story, toning down the language and clarifying certain points, an action which has seemingly weakened Politico's initial report. And finally this week, Fox Business Network announced the lineups for the Republican presidential debate, which will air on Thursday. Former Governor Mike Huckabee, former Senator Rick Santorum, former Governor George Pataki, Governor Bobby Jindal, Senator Lindsey Graham, and Governor Chris Christie will appear in the early debate for candidates who did not poll high enough for the primetime debate. All of the other candidates still running will appear in the main debate at 9 p.m. That's it for politics this week. I'm Chris Schneider. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. Switching from the United States to the world, we go to Michaela Amos with World News.
Welcome to World News. I'm Michaela Amos. This week, a Russian plane went down over Egypt, resulting in the deaths of all aboard. As the passengers were mostly Russian families, Russian President Vladimir Putin has halted all Russian flights to Egypt while the cause of the crash is investigated. Mexico could be legalizing marijuana in the near future. This week, the Mexican Supreme Court ruled that a small group of individuals could begin to grow, sell, and use recreational marijuana after the group argued that keeping the drug illegal was interference in the personal lives of individuals. Justin Trudeau, the new Prime Minister of Canada, announced his cabinet this week, which is officially the most diverse cabinet of any federal government, with a large number of ministers from minority backgrounds as well as gender equity. When asked for a reason for the cabinet's diversity, Trudeau simply responded with, "It's 2015. That's all for World News. This has been Michaela Amos.
Thanks, Michaela. The European immigrant crisis is still a pressing issue today. In late September, European leaders agreed to relocate 160,000 migrants from other countries. Most migrants have been seeking new homes in Greece and Italy. It's been approximately 6 weeks and progress is just starting to happen. As of November 4th, only 116 migrants have been moved in.
Also this week, the Supreme Court agreed to hear a new challenge to Obamacare. Religious schools and nonprofits are being cleared to challenge the contraceptive requirement of Obamacare. The Obama administration has said that there's already a religious exemption present in the law. And now for this week's weather, we go to Yukari Nakayama.
Thank you, Maverick. This is Yukari Nakayama with your ATV News Weekly Weather Report. This week, temperatures will mostly be around the low and high 60s, starting off Monday with a high of 61 and a low of 45. Tuesday through Friday, temperatures will be around the highs of 64s and the lows of 46 with scattered showers. Temperatures will drop on Saturday and Sunday to 57 degrees with a low of 43. This has been Yukari Nakayama bringing you the Weekly Weather Report. Back to you, Nikita.
Thanks, Yukari. Now we go to Brandon Cramen with the latest in AU news.
Thanks, Nikita. This last week was packed with fun events. There was the 4th annual African Students Organizations pageant on Saturday, in which one man and one woman were crowned Mr. and Miss ASO. Additionally, the second to last of the French films, La Pointe Courte, was watched in the Foreman Theater as part of the International Film Series. The next country in the series is Brazil. Some fun events this week on campus include a crisis narrative book reading. On November 12th at 7 p.m. in the Abramson Family Recital Hall in Catson, author of the book Citizens in American Lyric will be talking about her book in regards to crisis. Also this week, the AU Museum will host the Late Fall Artists Reception on Saturday, November 7th from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. They will be celebrating their 10th anniversary. Lastly, one of our executive producers, Emma Claire Martin's birthday is today, so happy birthday, Emma Claire. If you see her around this week, be sure to wish her a late happy birthday. That's it for AU News this week. I'm Brandon Cramen. Back to you guys.
So there's only 5 weeks left of school.
I know, it's flown by.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to go home.
Me too. Well, that's it for ATV News this week. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Maverick Ryan.
And I'm Nikita Godbole.
Thanks for watching.